I'm reminded of that Nissan car commercial that Brie Larson did, and she said, "Is this boring?" And it's like, well, yeah, I can be anything but boring with my comedy sets. I just didn't want to pigeonhole myself into the one that wanted to do the hate fucking joke just because one person liked it. Yes, there's always things going on in my life, and that means sometimes I have to go out and run errands, like go to the grocery store. And what I've noticed, which bothers me a little, is that grocery stores sometimes sell seasonal items a little too early. It's August, and I go to Hy-Vee on Fridays for the groceries I can't find at Aldi, and Hy-Vee is already selling greeting cards for not just Halloween, but also Thanksgiving. Well, I guess that didn't stop me from buying one, because one of those Halloween cards was a Charlie Brown card, and I'm a sucker for most things Charlie Brown. And it was one I didn't have yet either. It had more than just Snoopy on it, so what's not to like? Sometimes I won't buy them because it's like, yeah, I know people like Snoopy, but and he has a lot of fun, but there's more than just Snoopy. So yeah, there's my rant about that. And I know that my weekends are often about chores and errand running, but sometimes I end up doing some fun things. Although this weekend was quite eventful, and that meant that there are times where I just have to lay down and rest because, well, I'm at the age where sometimes you just have to do that. The Minnesota Fringe Festival wrapped up, and the two shows I went to this weekend I liked more than the three I had seen previously. But that's what Fringe is about. It's hit or miss. Some are really good and some are really bad. They won't tell you in advance. You got to find out on your own. I know it's what a showrunner said one time about open mics, and it's true. So this year, the ones I liked, there was one about pop culture fandom, especially on social media, and about Taylor Swift. And it's like, yeah, that works for me, especially with all of the fighting with Twitter postings and all that between different fan groups. And what I liked was it was about more than just Taylor Swift. There was somebody representing the fandom of Lady Gaga. As a fan of that singer, of course I love that. And thank you to Dylan for doing a Lady Gaga song. I'll get back to that a little later. Yeah, that show worked for me except for when they did Stealing a TV segment. It's like, what does that have to do with pop culture fandom, especially Taylor Swift? I'm still lost about that. Even though, yeah, Taylor Swift sometimes will do songs like, "Look at What You Made Me Do" and all that. And it's like, yeah, somehow it still works for me. Like, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. Yeah, the good girl bad thing, I get it. Even Rihanna has done that before. All right. Yes, the other show I liked with Fringe. One that I ended up becoming a part of by choice, and I was fine with that. There was a karaoke/burlesque show, and I had attended that one before, and I signed up to sing before. I did a different song this time, though, nothing wrong with that, and it was Lady Gaga. I did Bad Romance, and of course, I've been to burlesque shows before. I like how they do tongue-in-cheek interpretations. Some people say it's just stripping. It's like, no, if I want to see even more stripping and burlesque, then I go to a gentleman's club. I'm a man, I know where those are. I just don't go very often. And it's more classy with burlesque because they don't take everything off. But this one, burlesque show is a lot different because I'm the one singing, and usually it's a recorded song being played, and that meant I was really focused on my singing when it was my turn. So all I could tell was that a performer left something on my shoulders, and then at the end of the song I noticed it was her blue glove, and it's like, yeah, for a while it was hard for me to even tell what color outfit she was wearing, because It's like, no, I want to sing, I need to do that, because otherwise people are telling me you did the song wrong. And then I said, well, that's worth a tip. So then I left a tip at the end for the stage kit, and I remember learning that when I first went to burlesque. Yeah, I know I surprise people that on some of the shows I go to, but we all have our own guilty pleasures. All right, and I went to a Saints game because I love baseball, and I still want to do things besides Fringe during Fringe. It's 11 days, and you do other things around this metro area, people. It's 2.5 million people, sometimes maybe even more now. I got the bobblehead giveaway for Sister Roz, the massaging nun, and it was good. They did her story about how, no, she's the real deal. It's not just a gag or something like that. And it's like, yay. And then she put her hands in wet cement. Will be at the baseball museum. It's like, yeah, I guess that means she's kind of famous if she has a bobblehead and does that. Because when I see wet cement, all I'm thinking of is, I remember going to Planet Hollywood. It's been a while, but that's where I remember seeing those handprints before. And yes, I'm a banking place that means Tito's from the bank, like Tito's from the crib. The most notable thing this week was a big deal for a while. The overnight packages weren't picked up, not just 1, but 2 days. And I was doing my best to get them picked up, but I can't make somebody else do their job. But then I finally got the phone number of somebody who said, sorry, we dropped the ball, it'll get handled. It's like, well, yay for that. I mean, what else can you do? You just have to keep trying and prove that I'm doing due diligence. Well, that'll do it with me. They've all been great.